Hey everybody, another WV Guns and Goats video for you, and this right here is what we're checking out today. This is the Hush Point 45 silencer by High Point Firearms. Yes, the High Point Firearms that makes budget handguns and carbines, now making budget silencers. They got rimfire silencers. I took a look at those, thought they did pretty good. This is the pistol caliber one, and they've also got some rifle caliber silencers coming to the market as well. But if you're watching this video, well, you're probably wondering, how does this sound on different firearms? And that's what you're going to find out in this video. However, you're going to have to wait a little bit because at first what we're going to do is we're going to go inside on the tabletop. I'll give you a closer look at the silencer, everything that comes with it in the box, and its construction before we hit the range. Now, if you're not a herd member yet, go ahead and headbutt that subscribe button to join the herd here at WV Guns and Goats. Starting with the box here, we got High Point Firearms and an illustration of the Hush Point 45 right here. Now, this being a 45 caliber handgun can, will probably handle any handgun caliber under that 45 ACP diameter, which I believe is .451. Now, if you were going to put this on a lever action and shoot handgun calibers through it, because it should handle 357 Magnum, 38 Special, 44 Magnum, 44 Special. The only thing I'm not sure of is if this can will handle those Magnum cartridges out of a lever action rifle with the added velocity and power that they would have. Of course, if you're shooting subsonic rounds to get the most out of a suppressed lever action, you'll probably be fine there. And they have right here what they list as caliber restrictions. Now, most of these calibers are just calibers that High Point Firearms makes guns for. 30 Super Carry, 380 Auto, 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 10mm, 45 Auto, and 300 Blackout Subsonics. I would not shoot supersonics through this can. It's not rated for them. Subsonics only. And 5.7 by 28mm. I don't think High Point makes a 5.7, but maybe they do, or maybe they're planning on it. And note, this is not a full auto rated can, but I believe for a large amount of the customers who are interested in a budget silencer like this, that full auto rating probably isn't a concern to them. Now, the size of the silencer is 1.5 inches in diameter by 7.87 inches long, and the weight is 12.8 ounces, so it is a little bit on the heavier side. Let's go ahead, open the box up, and see what's inside. When we open the box, we've got some foam and a sticker telling us that the finish of the silencer cannot be covered under the High Point lifetime warranty. Here's everything that came in the box. We'll start with the manual right here. And this tells you everything that you need to know about taking care of and using the Hush Point 45 silencer. We got the High Point engraving here, and around the body of the silencer, we have these grip flats. Speaking of flats, we have this hexagonal flat area on the end cap and on the muzzle end as well. Now, those allow you to use these included tools right here to disassemble and reassemble the silencer. And these are made out of a pretty strong plastic material. They are universal for the 22 silencer and the 45 silencer that High Point makes. And you get two of them because of how you need to use them to disassemble and reassemble the silencer here. Now, when it comes to mounts, you get two of them in the box with the silencer. You get a 1/2 by 28, which is installed on the can right now. And you'll be seeing this on some pistol caliber carbines and probably a 22 when we get back out to the range. You're also going to get this guy right here, which is a .578 by 28 adapter for 45 ACP firearms. Now, these are hub threaded. So this can is hub compatible, which allows you multiple different mounts if you want to use different ones than come in the box with it. But it also allows you to use boosters or Nielsen devices on the silencer if you're going to be using it with a pistol with a tilting barrel, which is probably 90% of the pistols out there on the market. You do need that booster to help kick that slide back to compensate for the weight of the silencer out there on the end of your barrel. So I can't show you the disassembly of the silencer here on video, but through some editing magic, I'll show you how it looks inside. The silencer disassembles into 4 different pieces, so let's talk about them. We have the main tube right here, and this tube is made of 7075 aluminum. Each end of this tube is threaded hub compatible threads. So it really doesn't matter what end you want to install your thread adapter on or your monocore from, it will reassemble from either end there. And our thread adapter is 17.4 stainless steel. The blast chamber spacer right here that sits on the end of the monocore there, this is also made from 17.4 stainless steel. So let's go ahead and take a look at the monocore itself. I have seen monocores that kind of resemble this before, so it is a proven design, and it's a design that is pretty easy to manufacture, which helps keep this at a budget price for the budget-minded individual who might be looking for their first can. Now, what we have here is a 7075 aluminum monocore, which means that we cannot put this in an ultrasonic cleaner to keep it clean. We'll have to use paper towels and some elbow grease or one of the aluminum safe suppressor cleaners that are out there on the market. Now, the machining on this monocore feels really smooth and looks pretty nice, and whatever this finish that they've given the monocore is very smooth and glossy, and I don't think that carbon and other gunk will easily stick to this monocore, so it should clean off fairly easily. Now, one of the things you may have noticed about this monocore is that we have an O-ring right here that eventually will wear out and need replacing. So what we're going to do is put this back together, and we'll go out to the range and see how it sounds. Well, with this being a 45 caliber can, I figured we'd try it on a 45 ACP 1911. This is AAC R1 1911. And it does look like it might rain here, so we're going to try to get through this. Now, the thing is with 45 ACP, these 230 grains are supposed to be naturally subsonic, kind of like 147 grain 9mm is. Now, with this gun and this can on here, unfortunately, I do not have a booster device for this can that fits this gun. So I may have to rack this by hand, and it might jam some, but what we're really here to hear is how this sounds on a 45 ACP and some other firearms. So let's go ahead and get started. Well, so it still sounds kind of loud to me. I'm going to take one shot without the hearing protection on. All right, that still had a good bit of crack to it. Now the thing is, using this on the 22LR like we are right here, it's not ideal just because of the size of the bore of the silencer. It's not going to be quiet as a dedicated 22LR can, but we'll see if it'll work in a pinch here. We got supersonic and subsonic ammo to shoot through it. And the nice thing about this can is if you do decide to use it on 22LR, it disassembles for cleaning, so you can clean all that gunk that 22LR is going to leave in your can out of it. So let's go ahead, see how it sounds. Supersonics first. So I'd say if you stuck with the standard velocity stuff, this can would work for 22LR. Now for something a little bit bigger, on to 9mm, we got the CZ Scorpion to see how it sounds on a blowback 9mm. We've got 10 rounds in the magazine. 5 of those rounds are 115 grain supersonic range ammo, and under that is 5 rounds of 150 grain Syntech by Federal. Let's see how this guy sounds. So it is a little smoky. I'm sure you can see the smoke coming off this. Let's see how it sounds with those subsonics now. Sounds pretty good. Let's hear it without hearing protection. For a delayed blowback gun, we got the Sentry AP5 here, MP5 clone. Same way as before, 5 rounds of supersonic, 5 rounds of subsonic. Sounds a little loud to me with these on. Let's see how it sounds without the ears on that supersonic. Yeah, that has a good bit of crack to it on the MP5 here. Now with the subsonics, should be quieter. Well, that last one jammed up. But honestly, I think the CZ Scorpion with this can sounded quieter than the MP5 here. Now I had to change out the adapter to fit this 300 Blackout here, but with this can being hub compatible, I had a thread adapter that fit. Now I've only got 3 rounds of Hornady Sub X 190 grain ammo that we're gonna try because this stuff's pretty expensive. Let's see how it sounds on the 300 Blackout here. All right, everybody, you saw and heard the Hush Point 45 there on a couple different firearms. So let me know your thoughts on this can down in the comment section below. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. And my thoughts are this can is on the louder side, unfortunately. Now it does suppress the shots. It does do better than the firearm would have done without the silencer on it. However, when we tried it on the 45 ACP there, using the bullets the same diameter as the bore, to get the most performance out of it, subsonic rounds, well, it wasn't something that I would shoot without hearing protection. I did shoot it without the hearing protection on that one time, and it was loud to the ears. So I would say you are definitely going to want to use hearing protection, even shooting the subsonics on that 45. I was expecting it to be louder than a dedicated 9mm can when it came to the 9mm PCCs because, well, you've got all that extra room in this can and in the end cap there being a 45 diameter silencer. Now I'd like to see them come out with a 9mm dedicated can to see if that's any quieter. But the thing that got me was when this was on the 2 different PCCs we tried it on, it seemed to be quieter on the CZ Scorpion Evo with the same 150 grain Syntec loads that we tried in the MP5. And that's surprising because the MP5 with subsonics is generally known to be an extremely good suppressor host. So for the Scorpion to be quieter to the ears than the MP5 was just surprising to me. However, it still wasn't something I would say that was quiet enough to do multiple magazines without hearing protection, unlike a dedicated 9mm can. And when it comes to price to performance, well, this is still a budget silencer. However, for not much more than the MSRP of this silencer here, you can kind of get into one of the more proven, higher performing 9mm cans on the market. Now, I do think that this silencer is going to have a certain customer that's going to purchase it. And that guy is someone who's probably already a High Point Firearms customer. He's looking for something that does an all right job or an adequate job for a very low budget price. And he's probably going to be the person that this can will appeal to. So everybody, that's my thoughts on the Hush Point 45. Thanks for watching if you made it to the end here. This has been another WV Guns and Goods video. And as always, if you're not out there having fun shooting, well, what are you doing?